The Bible tells the story of Goliath, a giant warrior who struck fear into the hearts of the Israelites. Picture this: a man over 9 feet tall, decked out in heavy bronze armor, wielding a spear as thick as a tree trunk. He was a one-man army, an intimidating force to behold. Goliath wasn't just big, he was well-equipped. His armor weighed over 125 pounds, and he had a shield bearer to boot. This guy was serious about combat and wasn't afraid to show it. Every morning and evening, for 40 days straight, Goliath would march out and taunt the Israelites. He'd challenge them to send their best warrior to face him, one-on-one, with the fate of the entire army hanging in the balance. It was a bold move, and it worked. The Israelites were terrified. Meanwhile, far away from the battlefield, a young shepherd named David was tending to his flock. He was just a boy, too young to fight, and likely unaware of the giant terrorizing his people. But his life was about to change. His father, worried about David's brothers who were serving in the army, sent him on an errand to the front lines. Little did he know that this simple task would lead David straight into the path of the mighty Goliath. David, eager to see what was happening, ran to the front lines, leaving his supplies behind. He found his brothers amidst the chaos, just as a booming voice echoed across the valley. Everyone around him scattered in fear as the giant Goliath emerged, spewing threats and insults. This was David's first encounter with the Philistine champion, and he was furious. For 40 days, this brute had been taunting the Israelites and mocking their God. David couldn't stand for it. He asked the men around him what would happen to the person who defeated Goliath, and they explained the reward. But David wasn't interested in riches or fame. He wanted to defend his people and his God. With newfound determination, David sought an audience with King Saul. Despite his youth and inexperience, he insisted on facing Goliath. He recounted how he had protected his sheep from lions and bears, trusting that the Lord would deliver him from this giant too. Saul, impressed by David's courage, offered him his armor and weapons. But David, unused to such heavy gear, declined. Instead, he picked up his shepherd's staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. Armed with his simple tools and unwavering faith, he went to confront the Philistine. Goliath, seeing the young shepherd approaching, couldn't help but laugh. He mocked David for his size and lack of armor, but David didn't back down. He declared that he came in the name of the Lord and that Goliath would fall by his hand. The stage was set for a showdown between a seasoned warrior and a young shepherd boy. But this wasn't just any battle. It was a clash of faith and courage against brute strength and arrogance. David, a young shepherd with nothing but a sling and a stone, faced the towering Goliath. It was a David versus Goliath moment, a clash of faith and courage against brute force. With a single well-aimed shot, David struck the giant in the forehead, sending him crashing to the ground. The Philistines, witnessing the fall of their champion, retreated in disarray. David's victory not only saved the Israelites, but also sparked a rout of the Philistine army. He brought Goliath's head back as a trophy, a symbol of his triumph and God's power. The story of David and Goliath is more than just a thrilling tale. It raises questions about Goliath's origins. Was he a Nephilim, a race of giants mentioned in the Bible? Or was he a Rephaim, another group of giants known for their immense size and strength? Evidence suggests that Goliath might have been a Rephaim, a descendant of a giant king named Og. The Bible describes Og's bed as being over 12 feet long, hinting at his extraordinary stature. This connection to the Rephaim further adds to Goliath's mystique and the significance of his defeat. Goliath wasn't the only giant in his family. The Bible mentions 4 of his brothers, each one a formidable warrior in their own right. They continued to battle the Israelites, seeking to avenge their fallen brother and reclaim their lost glory. Their stories, though less famous than Goliath's, offer a glimpse into the complex world of giants and their relentless pursuit of power. Just when David thought the danger was over, another giant emerged, Ishbi-Benob, a relative of Goliath, eager for revenge. He was massive, armed with a heavy spear and a new sword, and ready to take David down. Exhausted from the previous battle, David faltered. But just as Ishbi-Benob was about to strike, Abishai, David's loyal nephew, intervened. He charged forward and killed the Philistine, saving David's life. This close call was a wake-up call for David's men. They realized that their leader, the Lamp of Israel, was too precious to risk in battle. They swore an oath to protect him from future danger. Abishai, the hero of the hour, was known for his courage and unwavering loyalty. He had once sneaked into Saul's camp with David, and he commanded a division of David's army during Absalom's rebellion. His quick action and bravery saved the day, proving that even the mightiest warriors need help sometimes. But the Philistine giants weren't done yet. Saph, another of Goliath's brothers, entered the fray. He was a formidable opponent, but Sibbecai, one of David's skilled warriors, managed to defeat him. Then came Lami, another of Goliath's kin. He wielded a spear so massive it was compared to a weaver's beam. Yet he too met his end at the hands of El-Hanan, a brave Israelite warrior. These stories highlight the ongoing conflict between the Israelites and the Philistines, and the challenges faced by both sides. They also showcase the bravery and loyalty of warriors like Abishai and Sibbecai, who risked their lives to protect their king and their people. These victories showed that Israel could overcome great enemies, even without David personally leading the charge. A new generation of leaders arose, inspired by David's example and empowered by their faith in God. The defeat of Goliath's brothers served as a powerful reminder that strength and size don't guarantee victory. It was a testament to the Israelites' faith and trust in God, who ultimately guided them to triumph over these seemingly insurmountable obstacles. One of Goliath's brothers, unnamed in the Bible, is described as having 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. Despite his imposing stature, he was defeated by Jonathan, David's nephew. This victory taught a valuable lesson about humility and the true source of strength. The Bible often portrays giants as enemies of God's people, who are ultimately defeated. Their existence served as a test of faith for the Israelites, and their downfall reaffirmed the power of God over any adversary. Just as David and his men faced multiple giants, we too may encounter recurring challenges in our lives. The story of Goliath's brothers teaches us about resilience and the importance of perseverance in the face of adversity. David's legacy wasn't just about his own victories, it was about empowering others to achieve their own triumphs. He inspired and trained a new generation of warriors who continued to fight for their people and their faith even after he was gone. The victories of David and his men not only brought immediate relief, but also laid the groundwork for future successes, such as the prosperous reign of Solomon. Their accomplishments remind us that our actions today can have a lasting impact on those who come after us. Genesis 6:1-4 is a fascinating passage that often sparks curiosity. It tells of a time when sons of God took human wives and had children with them, resulting in a race of giants called Nephilim. This mysterious union has led to many interpretations and theories. One possible explanation is that these sons of God were fallen angels who rebelled against God. They saw the beauty of human women and, driven by their own desires, chose to intermingle with them. This unholy union resulted in offspring who were not fully human, but rather a hybrid of angelic and human nature, the Nephilim. The Bible doesn't explicitly state Satan's motives, but we can infer his intentions. By corrupting the human gene pool, he may have aimed to thwart God's plan for salvation. If all of humanity became tainted, the promised Messiah, the seed of the woman, couldn't be born. God, witnessing the increasing wickedness of mankind, decided to wipe the slate clean with a flood. Only Noah and his family, who remained faithful, were spared. The fallen angels involved in this unholy union were punished, ensuring they could never repeat their actions. The phrase, "My spirit shall not abide in man forever," signifies a turning point in God's relationship with humanity. It's a reminder that God's patience, while vast, isn't limitless. There comes a point when enough is enough, and action must be taken. The Nephilim, born from this unnatural union, were described as mighty men of renown. Their existence further emphasizes the corruption and wickedness that had taken hold of the world. The Bible tells us that every intention of the thoughts of man's heart was only evil continually. This paints a grim picture of humanity's moral state before the flood. Jesus himself compared the time before his return to the days of Noah, suggesting a world filled with similar wickedness and corruption. Yet many people overlook this connection, especially when it comes to the mysterious figures mentioned in Genesis 6:1-4, the sons of God and the Nephilim. In earlier times, it was widely believed that these sons of God were fallen angels who rebelled against God and had children with human women. These offspring, the Nephilim, were giants who roamed the earth, adding to the chaos and depravity of that era. This interpretation might seem far-fetched to some modern readers who tend to shy away from supernatural explanations. However, the Bible itself consistently refers to angels as sons of God in the Old Testament. Passages in Job, for example, clearly identify them as such. Furthermore, the context of Genesis 6 supports this interpretation. The text contrasts the sons of God with man, suggesting they are two distinct groups. The mention of Nephilim, the mighty men of old, in the same context, implies a connection between their existence and the interbreeding of these divine beings with humans. While some may dismiss this interpretation, it's worth noting that Jude, a New Testament writer, seems to allude to this very event in his letter. He mentions angels who abandoned their proper dwelling, possibly referring to those who descended to earth and mingled with humans. The story of the sons of God and the Nephilim serves as a stark reminder of the depths of human depravity and the consequences of rebellion against God. It's a cautionary tale that resonates even today, as we witness the world spiraling into darkness and chaos once again. Though it may sound like a wild tale today, the idea of angels having children with humans isn't any stranger than many other biblical events. The universe God created is full of wonders that often challenge our understanding. A common interpretation is that the sons of God in Genesis 6:1-4 were fallen angels, or demons, who rebelled against God. These beings, driven by lust, engaged with human women, resulting in the birth of the Nephilim, a race of giants. This interpretation is supported by Jude 6, which speaks of angels who abandoned their proper place and were punished for their disobedience. 1 Peter 3:19-20 suggests that Jesus, through his death and resurrection, triumphed over these fallen angels. In the face of this widespread corruption, God decided to start over with Noah, a righteous man who found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Noah and his family were spared from the flood, while the rest of humanity, tainted by the influence of fallen angels, was wiped out. After the flood, it seems these fallen angels continued their sinful behavior, though on a smaller scale. The Bible mentions giants in Canaan, whom the Israelites later conquered. It's possible these were the result of further unions between demons and humans, or perhaps some traits of the Nephilim were passed down through Noah's lineage. The story of Noah and the flood serves as a powerful reminder of God's justice and mercy. It's a story of judgment against sin, but also of redemption and a new beginning. It teaches us that even in the darkest of times, God's grace can be found by those who seek it. Prayer. Dear Lord, help us understand your word and guide us in our faith. Give us clarity and humility to grasp the truths you reveal in Scripture. May your words inspire us to live lives that honor you and bring hope to others. Amen. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the Bible Stories Network channel for more content like this. God bless you.